Welcome to a lesson with Dr. Pal. Let's take a look at a type of function which is formed by just a fraction of polynomials. Something like x plus 1 over x minus 2 and x plus 3 or something like this. So we're going to discuss how to graph these. What does it look like? We're going to start our graph by considering what would happen if this wasn't a divide symbol. What if it was a multiply symbol? We've already seen how to graph polynomials, and we could graph something like this. And there's something very similar about this graph and that graph, namely the sign of the y value. The x-axis is like a wall. Are we above or are we below the axis? Well, that's determined by the output of the function, whether it's positive or negative, the y value positive or negative. Well, let's just think about if you have some numbers. 2 times -1, or 2 divided by -1. 3 times 5, or 3 divided by 5. Has the sign changed at all? Or is this is negative the same as this is negative? This is positive the same as this is positive. So in other words, if you graph this, that tells you precisely when the y values of this graph are above or below the y-axis. So let's get started and look at this example and see what we can do. So let's take a look at this polynomial right here and see how it graphs. So as we do it, we see we get a we get a -3. Here we get a -1, and here we get a 2. Okay, so when we graph this, and let's see, this polynomial right here has n behavior. Let's just circle the leading terms of each factor, multiply them together to get x cubed, which has n behavior down up. So we start down, and notice all these multiplicities are 1 here. So it's just going to go straight through each time. Starts down, goes straight through, come back, go straight through, come back, go straight through. Okay. So something like this. All right. So this is a very good starting point for this graph. So we know it's going to go like this. And in this area right here, it's going to be above. In this area, it's going to be below. This area, it's going to be above. And this area, it's going to be below. Maybe some other things might be happening along the way. And in the next video, we're going to keep going with this example and talk about that and talk about what goes from here. But at least this is step number 1. Step number 1, when we're graphing a fraction of polynomials, is we think about it as being a polynomial itself. Getting rid of the division, turning it to multiplication, and graph this. This graph is going to help us to be able to graph this. So this is just step 1, and next video we'll have step 2. Thanks for watching.